Our next topic is types of economic system. An economic system is a system in which government allocates available resources across country. There are three types of economic system: capitalist, socialist, and mixed economy. First point, capitalist economy. It is also called as market economy. In this economy, the resources and means of production are owned, managed, and controlled by private sector individuals, and their main objective is to maximize the profitability of company. Here, the price of goods and services is determined by free flow of market demand and supply. Here is the point P where demand and supply intersect each other. Japan, Germany, Singapore, Mexico are some few of the examples of capitalist economy. Adam Smith is known as the father of capitalist economy. An economy is called capitalist economy if it has the following features. First point, right to private property. In this economy, the means of production like land, factory, machinery, etc. are owned by private individuals. Freedom of enterprise. Each individual is free to engage in any economic activity, like freedom to start manufacturing unit or to start advertising agency, etc. Next point, freedom of economic choice. All economic decisions are guided by self-interest without any intervention of government. Employees have choice to selection of work and customers have choice to the product. Next, lack of government intervention. Capital economy is not regulated by government, therefore there is no central planning authority. Next, consumer sovereignty. Consumer is the king in capitalist economy. Here, consumers determine which goods and services will be produced and in what quantity. Producers have to produce goods and services which are preferred by customers. Next, presence of competition. This is the most important feature of capitalism. Competition brings out the best quality goods and results in efficient utilization of resources. What are the merits of capitalist economy? First point, price mechanism. The price of goods and services are determined by price mechanism, that is demand supply flow. No seller can overcharge from the customers as there is many sellers present in the market and high level of competition. Where there is a competition in the market, consumers get good quality of product at reasonable price. Next, freedom of enterprise and economic choice. In capitalist economy, there is a freedom of enterprise to the entrepreneurs and economic choices to employees and customers. Faster economic growth and technological progress because investors try to invest only in profitable projects. Optimum utilization of resources. In capitalist economy, there will be higher productivity and reduction in cost of production. Last point, encourages to take risk. The best quality of any entrepreneur is that he takes risk. As there is a freedom of enterprise in capitalist economy, young generation come up with new startup ideas. Demerits or limitations of capitalist economy. The main objective under capitalism is Maximization of profitability. The business focus less on social welfare. They get motivated to produce luxury goods because they get higher profit in it. Next, economic inequality. The business tends to focus more on those customers only who have buying capacity. Next, income inequality. As the means of productions are distributed among entrepreneurs, there will be income inequality. It may result in unemployment, economic depression, and economic instability. Next, unplanned production. As there is an absence of central planning commission, producers try to produce maximum products to supply into the market to earn maximum profit. If all goods are not sold or consumed by the consumers, there will be huge wastages of resources. Formation of monopoly. In the competitive environment, only large players can survive, while small ones cannot survive longer. Very important question. How do capitalist economy solve their central economic problems? The main problem in any economy is scarcity of resources. All the resources are limited. For example, natural resource, land, labor, material, money, time, etc. Nothing is unlimited. Even richest person in the world have limited money. The richest country in the world have limited resources. Every economic system, be it said capitalist economy, socialist economy, or mixed economy, has to deal with these central economic problems. Wants are unlimited, but the resources to satisfy all the wants are limited. There are four basic questions: what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and what provisions are to be made for future. Let's discuss in detail. First question: what to produce? Since the resources are limited, every society has to decide which goods and services should be produced and how many quantity, whether to produce capital goods like machinery, equipment, cars, etc., or to produce consumer goods like mobile phone, clothes, etc. Not only society has to decide about what goods and services are to be produced, but it has also to decide in what quantity each of these goods would be produced. If they produce more of capital goods, they have to compromise on the quantity of consumer goods because resources are limited. For example, there are two products. One is capital goods like cars, another is consumer goods, clothes. If they want to produce more of capital goods, they have to compromise on quantity of consumer goods. And if they want to increase the quantity of consumer goods, they have to compromise on this quantity of capital goods due to scarcity of resources. They have increased the quantity of consumer goods from point A to point B, but they have to decrease the quantity of capital goods from point P to point Q. In capitalist economy, the aim of entrepreneur is to earn as much as profit as possible. Therefore, they will produce only those goods in which they get high profit. So, in capitalist economy, what to produce? Capital goods or consumer goods which are demanded more by the consumers. Next, how to produce. Next, how to produce. There are various alternative techniques of production is available. A society has to decide whether it will produce by using capital intensive method or by labor intensive techniques. For example, clothes can be produced by using power looms and by hand looms. The decision on how to produce depends on availability of resources and different factors of production like capital, labor, etc. In capitalist economy, an entrepreneur will produce goods and services by technique which gives minimum cost of production. Next, for whom to produce? A society cannot satisfy each and every wants of people. Therefore, in capitalist economy, they will produce for those who have buying capacity. And last question, what provisions are to be made for future? In capitalist economy, savings are done by consumers and investment is done by entrepreneurs to get return on investment.